was that other one, the other brand maybe. That's the one you have to
Who
take
hadn't
out.
been on since, like, what was it?
Yeah, like
I can't even remember.
2012 Twitter.
We back.
Going to McDonald's. That was 2012 Twitter. Going to McDonald's.
What do I post on here? Yeah.
Spider-Man is on Xbox? What?
Now we're still on 2012 Twitter.
What is this?
Alright, we are back up, it looks like, maybe.
What is this that freaking Wario just posted?
Mm.
Y'all looking at this?
Yes, Spider-Man is on Xbox. I see the tweet, I didn't pull it up.
Look at the screenshot.
Spider-Man shooter for $1.22. Oh, the hell I'm looking at.
What is that? Look at the Spider-Man. It's like me standing there.
It's so bad.
Let's buy it.
It's gonna get taken
Let's
down.
buy it. Are there achievements?
Iker Bugimisk. I see. The famous Spider-Man destroys enemies by throwing webs. The more enemies you catch in the spider web, the more points you get. It's on Xbox.
It supports HoloLens. HoloLens support.
Somebody posted the dancing Tobey Maguire meme
Yes.
to it as well.
That doesn't look.
Oh, the responses are great.
Hey, this may be more of a game.
The other response, the counterpoint when somebody in the Twitter thread is like, put Starfield on PlayStation now. No more exclusives. That's all we needed.
Holy
It's
shit.
beautiful. Oh, Jesus. Oh.
That was entertainment I didn't know I needed. Oh, crap. See, Xbox is better. They're only charging $1, Sony's charging 70.
Yeah, the responses are the best. Somebody's like, finally, a real game.
Oh, I like this article for PlayStation. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that was probably the best one on here. Let's go.
La 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 la.
I've been playing Katamari as well.
I just looked over and saw it.
Did y'all ever get a live notification on the last one?
Yeah?
I was already in there, so I never got any. I don't know. Hold on.
Oh, there's no shortcut. I didn't see anything. It's just there we are. And it's not bouncing around. Alright, made the restart and we just fixed it. We even need to come back. We need some feedback.
Renee says, "What's up?"
Okay, good. Renee's in. Is he on the road?
He's.
On the road again.
That's a long story.
I saw some repairs needed.
Yes, he's on the road. Let's leave it at
That
that.
works.
So.
On the road again. Alright, everybody know we've used up all our best material in the cutting floor.
Sure, this is what the streaming's for. And then we go back there and we're boring as fuck. Let's go, boring as fuck.
This is the one we go SoundCloud, get boring.
Yeah.
Ah, there we go.
Where's record? Does this guy and I have record?
Finally,
Is that the good one, Brad?
real
There it is.
Katamari forever.
It's like a greatest hits.
It's like levels and stuff. Select levels. No.
I don't want to touch your Katamari.
Touch it.
No,
Touch it, Cesar.
absolutely not.
I seen the way you look at
Oh.
it.
I don't even touch my own Katamari.
There's that.
And on the Vita, you can get it from both the front and the back.
That works.
This is us, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us.
Show me the Katamari on PS4. Show me the
On the
trifecta.
show.
Oh, actually, I have it on Switch. I didn't buy it for.
Yeah, I bought the physical on Switch as well. I was like, I gotta support this, and now it's $20 everywhere.
I think the PS4 one was Asia only exclusive. I
Is
think.
it?
I believe so. I could no. Yeah, no.
We are recording, but I'll chop this out.
No, absolutely not. We leave this in there. It's be
Or I'll put it at the end. I'll put it at the end like I do. Because I think I got Brant saying we cut it in the front and back.
You cut that part out. That's weird. That's just
Brant said it. I repeated it.
No, I'm just saying cut his part out. No, I'm not giving you hell. He said it. Yeah. I never acknowledged it.
It's not bad. It's not bad when I bring it back up. It's always that Brant said it first.
Oh, never mind. It came out of America. You still get it, Brant. It's $20 on GameStop.
See, this says stretch and squeeze your Katamari ball.
Oh God.
Why is this happening? What would you do? What did you do with that one? I don't think I ever played that one. The one for PSP was really good when I was on my PSP kick.
I don't even remember. It's been so long.
Even when I had the PSP one didn't have that second analog stick, it still played really, really well. That was a good ass one.
Yeah, it did. I love that one.
We got a new Monkey Ball out of that republishing or whatever. How come we didn't get a new Katamari?
Here it
That guy's gone, right? Me and my Katamari, that one was good as shit.
Yes, it was. 2 to 4 player wireless battle.
Let's go. What are we waiting for?
Bitch had ad hoc?
Battle.
Awesome.
PSP was god tier at ad hoc stuff. I played a lot of Virtua Tennis that way. With those damn
I
UMD
think
drives.
that's something we all did.
Do what?
That one time, me and you tried to play Monster Hunter and never
Oh
played it.
god, we had meat on sticks and we're just trying to cook the meat. That's my Monster Hunter experience.
I just remember Richard, man. Let's try this, man. Everybody talks about how good this game is. Like, what the fuck are we playing?
This is not fun. Let's stop.
I got my copy, me and my Katamari. Let's go over the internet.
I got one too. I might have 2 copies, and I have 2 PSPs. I got a 4th player.
Go. I still got my 3000 series in the box. So
I'm still rocking the OG model.
The hackable one, the battery hack.
Yeah, the fucking ghosting
Pandora.
like crazy.
Yeah, but the 3D, like the 3000 series doesn't do 2D games too well. It does the 3D games better.
It interlaces them weird, but some people like the way it interlaces them.
What am I, 12? I haven't looked at an interlace screen in years.
Oh gosh, I didn't put this in news either.
Newsies?
Bring it up. You want to put it at the end?
That was weeks back, right?
I don't know.
I heard something about
How
it
ongoing?
last week.
Yeah, that's from Richard's favorite developer from the Destruction All Stars teams making that game.
And it's supposed to be a freaking free to play. Like, I'm like, no,
So you're wrong.
do Twisted Metal
You're
right.
wrong. They actually didn't reach out to my favorite developer. He's upset about it on his YouTube channel.
Oh, the Chafies,
The Data War.
the Chafee grenades.
Yeah.
I don't want to give out a full name, but Chafies.
Corey Barlog's daddy.
The OG one.
Since it always comes back to it, and we're on this anyway.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, I've heard of
do
it.
a watch of Pirates. How many UMD movies do you have, Brent?
Here, I'll loan you my UMD. 5. Well,
I think I
6.
got about 5 or 6.
He has the one that matters. It doesn't matter.
Technically,
That is the
I have.
movie.
He has the one that matters, gentlemen.
Oh, I've never seen that. I remember when it was big, though.
Are you kidding me?
Is
You've
it
never
good?
seen
Does it hold up?
featuring the Hugh Jackman? It is very good.
I don't know. He did apparently does
Featuring the
Sir
Wolverine.
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
I actually have that like music video compilation. I've got the Offspring one too.
Well, this is the it's like kind of about the making of the album and everything.
You better don't show that image on the internet. You'll get sued.
We already are.
Take out the
You see this is from Kevin. Come on, David.
I wanted so bad to get the live Red Hot Chili Peppers one as well, and I never got it.
Find it on eBay.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look now.
Sure, I might as well look since we're just sitting here.
No, the guy with the only copy on there has already heard from Brand. It's like, I'm jacking up my prices before Brand.
Somebody wants it.
$400 used, only viewed once.
How much do you think I could get for UMD copy of Elf?
Elf holds up. I like Elf.
Elf?
Yeah.
Brant, used open ones are 12, 13-ish.
That's not
Here's
bad.
a new one for 18.
Oh, pay the extra $6. Get that nice seal.
A brand new one for 15. I had to do quick math there. Live at Slane Castle. Does that sound right, Brent?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a live thing.
Just looked up, I rolled the dice, I looked up Red Hot UMD, and that's what I got. There was no telling what was going to happen. Red Hot UMD.
One of those porno UMDs, yeah.
I want to see if The Matrix was out. I think that was one of the ones I was going to chase at one point. Yeah, somebody had brand new copies of The Matrix on UMD.
Was it the original Spider-Man that came with it?
Spider-Man Loose.
It was Spider-Man 2 that came with like the launch model. Yeah.
That's the first one I started off with. I have that box
I
somewhere.
got mine several months after that because I like picked it up and I was all excited to watch Spider-Man 2 on my PSP and then open it up like, doesn't have Spider-Man 2. But I had that UMD demo disc that I still have with all the music videos.
It was cool. It showed off the medium.
Yeah.
I think one of them came with Lords of Dogtown too. It was like a skateboarding movie.
Yeah, I got that one.
That's one of the 6. We're going to do Brent 6. That's it.
I mean, at this point, you might as well just finish out the.
Yeah, go ahead, show them
last
to
three
it, Brent. Let's finish the
No.
collection. We're recording, why not?
Bewitched.
Bewitched.
It's not bad. It's a good watch.
It's alright.
It's not worth owning a physical copy of it. That media, but.
That's a good one.
Brent.
That is a good one. That's finishing off strong.
All right, here's a lot with Cheaper by the Dozen, The Grudge, Pirates of the Caribbean, Elf, The Italian Job, and Anacondas, not Anaconda, for $20.
That's not bad. I mean, not great movies, but I mean.
All right, let's play this game. Cesar, can you put your hands on your UMD movies, or they file away?
He probably has a big stack though.
No, I got all those in the box somewhere.
Okay. Let me grab mine real quick. That's we're playing this game. I don't know which ones I actually have.
Oh Lord. He must not have a lot if he's just grabbing them.
No, he probably has a lot.
So that was the age where, I'm still being driven around by my parents because I haven't yet got my license, and so long trips or road trips, it was great to just throw the UMD and the PSP.
Hey, made it easy. It's better than watching a GBA video.
Yeah, because at the time my grandparents were living in Thomaston, Georgia, and from where we were, it was like a 2-hour trip. So it's like, I'll pick a movie, watch a movie in the car. Hell yeah! Had gosh, I can't remember if it was Pelican or who it was that I got like the accessory pack that had like the car charger and travel case and all that crap with it too.
Yeah, when they were doing all those bundles before they all disappear, since nobody buys accessories like that anymore. So
Yeah.
Ugh.
He's back. What does he have?
everything.
Everything.
My selection is actually quite garbage. But I do have sealed demo copies of Ratchet and Clank Size Matters.
Ooh.
ATV. Weren't we just talking about the series? ATV Off-Road Fury Pro.
Yeah, from
Yeah,
the
I think we mentioned that.
Rainbow Studios or whatever it's called.
And Gene Day Arc. These are like, they would ship out the UD with a demo on it. They were good about those.
The good old Level 5 classic before they pulled out of the US.
I've seen none of these movies. First off, we have the Offspring music video collection.
Excellent.
We have
Probably a good one.
We Own the Night.
Still haven't seen this one, so I can't comment on it.
It's got Joaquin Phoenix in it. We
I was
have
gonna say I saw Joaquin.
half of the cover of The International, and the bottom part, The International.
You have the good cover of the International guy.
And we have a Quentin Tarantino presents Jet Li Hero. That's the extent of my UMD collection.
Oh.
I didn't know there was a Tarantino flick.
Yeah, he didn't make it. He just presents
it. He's the publisher. He's not the developer.
He's literally he paid for producer credit to put his name on there. Like, hey, I approve of this film.
That's kind of weird.
That was random. I don't know if that was worth the side venture we just did.
No.
That was at the time where like Crouching Tiger really took off, and they're like, we're just gonna bring everything we can over here. So
love it. I might have to get Pirates though. Does it look good on the PSP brand?
I remember enjoying it.
I'm looking more into this than I probably should. All right.
no, we should all look on buying Pirates on every media.
Got on DVD, Blu-ray, streaming, Laserdisc.
I even got the Voodoo ones, which were 4K. They didn't come out 4K Blu-rays, but the Voodoo ones are 4K.
You sent me that.
Stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got them when they were like less than $10, or I think like $5 a movie. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do with this.
All right, let's get a lead in and get this. Or do we just want to cold open? Is that our open?
It's open and
yeah, that's what we stumbled into. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining. You probably are trying to figure out if you started mid-episode or what, but we just rambled on. That's what we do. You just got it early. Now we will actually kick off the official NOFODcast number 179. We are No Outside Food or Drink, the Southeast's premier video game podcast. Tonight, a small smattering of news. Sony offering game trials in the UK. Please let the Konami rumors be true? ? The final Mr. Sakurai presents. It's like a regular purchase just with extra steps. PlayStation 3 and Vita store in parentheses. What extra steps is this nonsense? Find out later. And we have your October Game Pass and PlayStation Now titles. You've heard us ramble now for 10-15 minutes as we wax poetically on dead Sony video formats. I'm Richard Bergman, joined tonight by Brent McKee.
What's up?
News builder and compiler. I feel like we all just left each other, but it's good to see everyone again. Also rounding out this trio of greatness is Cesar Concepcion on the second.
Hello, I am all those things.
Just you. That's my name. I'm here. We've been going, so. All right, let's jump right into it. Sony offering game trials in the UK. I think I saw Canada as well, right? I'm like, man, let me change my region real quick. This comes from The Verge. Sony appears to be reintroducing an old concept for two of its newer PS5 games, game trials. Sony will now let you try PS5 versions of Death Stranding, Director's Cut, and Sackboy: A Big Adventure for free if you live in the UK. And I think I've seen it somewhere else, Canada. I don't see that amended in the article. You get 6 hours of Death Stranding Director's Cut, which I guess that gets you going.
Not really.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like you sort of see a little bit, but that doesn't really get you going. But it's better than nothing if you at least wanted to try out Death Stranding.
But also, if you look at the article, as soon as you click download trial, it starts going. And with as big as those games are, I mean, you're gonna spend a couple minutes or so downloading, depending on your internet speed, your provider.
Like 30 to 45, maybe, or 30 minutes to an hour, maybe, for those downloads.
It really depends on your provider. So I mean, you could spend 30 to at least an hour and a half.
So. Especially
something like Death Stranding. Yeah. Death Stranding's, a pretty beefy game.
So that is, what is that? 6 hours for Sackboy? No, 6 hours for Death Stranding and 5 hours for Sackboy. I guess to count in the download hour for Director's Cut, like a game for Death Stranding Director's Cut. Only we get Sackboy Director's Cut. Director's Stitch.
PS6.
Apparently, the offer went out via email. Sony says the games are redeemable in the PlayStation Store until October 28th at 12 o'clock. And the trial starts as soon as you select download trial or add to the library on the web. So you have to run from your computer to your console.
Ugh.
So it's only until, why are they doing, maybe they'll cycle these in and out. Maybe it's like a game preview program thing. I remember when they did, was it Sony that did this before?
I think they did this for a little bit.
I didn't see any games mentioned like something that had been done before. You usually try to do this, Sackboy and Death Stranding are single-player-ish games. Brandon, I know you played Sackboy 2-player, but there's no real, like, usually you can play free until level 8 or whatever, it's a multiplayer type thing, or it's got a bunch of add-ons or DLC or something. But these are complete, so maybe it's just trying to get extra sales. I hope we see more stuff like this. I like demos. I just showed you demo discs. I like demo discs and demos.
I was about to say, I miss the days of demo discs.
God, demo disc was incredible. We could have an episode talking about some of our favorite demo discs. That'd be a fun filler episode. Just the cool shit that's on it.
Yeah.
All right, Brent, do you want to take this Konami rumor story? This is pretty exciting. If it's true, as you put in the preamble.
So, a month. First of all, this comes from Gimatsu, from Sauromano. They are reporting that there is a rumor going around from a unnamed source, because obviously, if you work for one of these companies or you know about this, you don't necessarily want to be the person that was like, "Oh yeah, I know, I'm working on it." You know,
here's some assets. Here's the box art.
But they are reportedly developing revivals of Castlevania, Metal Gear Solid, and Silent Hill. And it was reported to VGC. They're citing VGC. And they say, what is it? Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater is the remake project. Wasn't there talks that Blue Point was possibly doing like a revival or remake of Metal Gear Solid?
That was the first Metal Gear that was that rumor, yeah. But now Blue Point's under the Sony banner. Do you think that still holds true?
I don't know.
I would imagine maybe it was something that was floating around and didn't take shape. That does happen a lot, you know.
Eurogamer corroborated that story as well. So there's two smoke evidence. I don't know what the term is. Two legit sources have picked up on this.
So the Castlevania, there's not a lot on that. They're just saying it's a reimagining of the series. I don't know if that means we'll be reimagining it back to 2D, 2.5D, or staying with like the 3D and just kind of somehow redoing it, retooling it.
Or just adding a new D and make it 4D.
Yeah, make it 4D.
You can call that with haptic feedback or VR. We'll get all these in VR and watch.
Then you got to buy some kind of device and it just like blows water and wind in your face. So you can experience all the
zombie breath for
smell-o-vision. Yeah, they need smell-o-vision. Send you a scratch and sniff card.
That way, every time Dracula talks to you, he's like, "Man, your breath stinks." Like, get that. Go brush your teeth or something like that. Jeez.
Vampire. Or if you get a health boost if you just ate garlic when you're playing.
And then finally, VGC reported that there are multiple Silent Hill games in development.
Multiple Silent Hill
from various external developer studios. So who knows? I mean, that's so freaking vague, and we've been hearing about Silent Hill remake for what feels like a year and a half.
Oh, like the abandoned one that got abandoned.
Yeah. Oh gosh, no, we're not even talking about them.
BT Silent Hills.
No, that company that keeps banking on people thinking that they're Kojima, but they're not
Blue
Kojima. And then they were supposed to, Blue Box. They were supposed to have an interactive demo thing, and then it never went live. And then
it went live, and it was just the preview that they showed months before.
Video games are fun, man. Video games are fun. That's why we talk about it every week. It's stupid shit like that.
They're trolling or something. It's.
So, Brent, you did. I want to backtrack at Castlevania. We'll touch on all these. I know you're a 2D Castlevania Metroidvania fan. Have you played or enjoyed any of the 3D ones?
I actually have not, because I mean I've heard Lord of Shadows was a decent game, but like Castlevania 64 is one of those. Oh gosh, can't even remember the name of it. But just for the sake of everything, Castlevania 64.
It was just called, the year was just called Castlevania. And then they came out with another version of it later in the year called Legacy of Darkness.
Legacy of Darkness, that's what I'm thinking of. And I think that's the one I have behind me. But that one I've heard is not the greatest, especially, you know, now going back to it. It's just not. It was that rough era for kind of 3D polygonal platforming.
It didn't make the jump in an era where Mario succeeded, Zelda succeeded, Mega Man,
Crash Bandicoot.
Crash was never really trying to take an existing 2D franchise into 3D.
Well, yeah. You mean existing?
Right. So Metal Gear did. I guess that's a good example.
Yeah. But I've kind of stayed more 2D. I mean, my first experience was Symphony of the Night, and I mean, you can't start on a better game for the Castlevania franchise.
It's all downhill.
Yeah, you start going back to the original games, and you start dying, and you're like, what the hell is this?
I've listened to music from the PS2 one and a little bit from the one that was on PS2 and Xbox. And the music's there. The music never dipped in quality after like Symphony, so or after Rondo of Blood, I guess you could say.
The music's always been great.
I played a Lament of Innocence. I like that one.
You did like that one?
That's a good one?
Yeah.
Okay.
But Lord of the Shadow definitely was a good take on the 3D one, right? Do you think it would go back to a formula like that if that's where they dipped into?
Lords of Shadow was really good.
Yeah.
Lords of Shadow 2 was not so much.
Yeah, I was about to say, you said the first one was good. The second one was rough.
Was really, really good. I think that's the one that Kojima produced.
Gotcha.
And then he didn't touch the second one. But it's if you play that one, that's probably the best representation of going 3D, but still having aspects that are 2D. Because I still move along that are 2D, but it doesn't have that full map and all that stuff on there. But it does still have that feel in certain levels where you're moving on a 2D plane with 3D characters.
That Lord of the Shadow. So he's had his hands in all three of these franchises because he was working on the Silent Hills. Rumors abound.
Yeah, and I heard somewhere that apparently one of the studios working on one of these Silent Hill games is supposed to be a very prominent Japanese studio that is backed by Sony, and they're saying it's Kojima. So,
interesting.
Take it with a grain of salt, like everything else.
Yeah, I mean, there was that rumor that Sony did their best to patch up whatever bad blood they had between Kojima and Konami. So that's been floating around too. So
you never know. What would I want from a Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater remake? What?
I would literally give him millions of dollars just to get the final chapter of Metal Gear Solid 5. So now I can figure out the end of the story.
That's kind of the lingering thing, right?
That's all I care about. Yeah.
And we need Metal Gear Solid 4 on other platforms. I don't think 2 and 3 you really need to be messed with. A remake of the first one, maybe, because it's on the first PlayStation, but there's so much charm in what they were able to do with that first PlayStation Metal Gear Solid. I don't know. I think they remade it for GameCube. Would you include that in the collection if you did that? Would you do Twin Snakes?
Why not? I mean, look at these collections they're coming out with a whole bunch of different versions of stuff.
So much, though. It was such a different game. It's not a bad game, but it's a very different game than that first Metal Gear Solid.
I say just put everything on there. You're gonna have fans on both sides, so
especially stuff like.
Let's not have another Aladdin argument, please. It's like people as soon as Aladdin comes on Twitter, it's like a nonstop. I'm gonna die on this hill on either side.
Where do you stand on the Jungle Book? Where do you stand on the Jungle Book games, then?
Oh, when they came out, it's like now finally the Super Nintendo one. Everybody comes by like the better version of Aladdin. That's what it finally started to. I was like, oh,
every time. And then Silent Hill.
I'm just more upset that I got to rebuy that collection so I can get Aladdin, Super Nintendo, and Jungle Book. And I'm like, great, but it is what it is.
All right, what would we want from a new Silent Hill? What is needed from that franchise? Does it need like Resident Evil?
A non-broken game?
Yeah.
The last Silent Hills that I really enjoyed was 1, 2, and 3. And never played 4. So if they go more back to the psychological horror, that's fine. It kind of got Monday like. when it went to the European developers, when they went Silent Hill Origins and
Homecoming.
Shattered Memories and Homecoming. And Downpour wasn't that bad, believe it or not. That was probably the last one I enjoyed. That almost had that. Holy shit! I just realized I played like every Silent Hill. I love Silent Hill.
Oh, okay, so you got to answer this question. What do you want from New Silent Hill? What fits that bill?
I want like Silent Hill 2 or Silent Hill 3. I want that. I want.
You and I have
no more tank
Silent Hill 2. I was loving that playthrough. Damn it, COVID.
And you haven't even got to the good stuff where, you know, when the ending and it starts throwing you for a loop and you're trying to figure out what the fuck's happened, and then that twist at the end. You haven't gotten to that yet. It's really good. The story's done really well. And then you had Silent Hill 3, which is a continuation of the first game. Like, all the stuff you did in the first game, it continues on to that game, like, 15 years later, and it has the same characters, and that was done well.
Would you want that storyline picked back up then? As opposed to all these other offshoots?
I would imagine if they were going to re-release something, they would have to do 1 and 3, since those are interconnected. Those are very important with Harry Mason and their daughter. That was the one they decided to make the live-action movies, which you can confirm that I own those travesties as well. Those were the ones they decided to mirror the movies off of. It's like if you watch the first Silent Hill movies and mirror the first game, if you watch the second Silent Hill movies and mirror Silent Hill 3. It's like that's the best storyline in my opinion. That's what they decided to go with when they made those movies, even though they're not. They're garbage, but I mean they're very simple. If you watch those movies, it's similar to what those games were.
Story.
Yeah.
All right, those are your 3 Konami properties that maybe won't be pachinko machines, or
yeah.
I even had this bullshit thing that's garbage too. So
Book of Memories. Everybody had high hopes for that.
I mean, it's made by Way Forward. It wasn't that bad, but it's just like a dungeon crawler though. It wasn't Silent Hill. It's like weird Diablo bastard version.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I didn't see this in this article, but I did read it somewhere else that they did note Konami was like super gung-ho into getting back into AAA games and such.
mm-hmm.
Which would be awesome, but who's still there? Like, what does that even consist of? Because they haven't.
So, I'm sorry.
No,
kind of
you're good. I was just saying they've kind of been out of the picture for, 10 years now? A generation?
So, like, what Brand was saying, and it's like you were saying, they still have an internal studio. That Castlevania game is being done in internal studio with like Brand said, with external Japanese support on it. They're also doing that game on Steam. That's Brand should enjoy because it's very similar to Castlevania, the one that we're finally getting. I forgot what was it. It's coming to Switch.
Okay.
Trying to remember what it's called. It was DLC also for on the Harmony of Destinies. Like you can choose one of the characters from that series, and it's the first time we ever got it here. But it's similar.
Is that like that one that's on Apple Arcade right now? Or
it may be.
That was a proper Castlevania, though, right? The online one.
I'm looking for it, gentlemen. Yeah, here goes. Getsu Fuma. That's the one that's
that
coming
NES game, right? Yeah. They showed it one of those sizzle reels, and it looked incredible. So
that was the same developers who made Castlevania made that game. The main character from this game is a character on Harmony of Destinies on 360 PS3. Yeah, it was like a slight nod, and that was the first time we got it ever here. And so that studio's internally done in Konami. So
it's like the Marth incident from what was he in Melee? People are like, "Who's this guy from? What series is this?" Then we started getting non-stop Fire Emblems.
So, yeah. So I mean, it seems like they're big games. It seems like their big games are going to outsource as they do stuff internal. I don't think they're going to do like they did with Kojima, where they're going to do big games like that again. Yeah. I think they got burned out on that. And you saw what happened with Sony too. It's like you even read the reviews on Death Stranding. It's like this is what happens when you give somebody an unlimited budget to make whatever game they want. And you know, some people are like, "What is this?" And some people enjoyed it. Some people are like, "I don't know what this is," you know. But it's like he's that type of developer. So
he goes for it.
He makes games like, you know, some directors make movies. You know, some people go crazy with movies, and sometimes it turns out great, sometimes it doesn't. So.
Sometimes it's just all over the place.
Yeah.
All right.
But Richard, you just said something.
What's that?
You said Smash Brothers.
Did I say Smash Brothers?
Yeah. Which reminds me, there was a Mr. Sakurai Presents for the very last Smash Brothers character for Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Smash
Oh
Bros.
God!
All right, we're
Please,
getting Marth.
please, dear God,
We're
no.
finally getting Marth in Smash Bros.
Dear God, no, please.
No, but I think actually the Smash community as a whole collectively, for once, didn't bitch and moan when this character was finally announced.
Most everybody got what they want
Yeah.
for once.
So, first off, Mr. Sakurai Presents, with the presentation, he went into the Mii Fighters costumes that were coming out with this latest round of DLC, which include some Splatoon tie-ins. You get a Octoling wig and a Judd hat, which are two little things from Splatoon, and then they also add for the Mii Gunner Doomslayer, the entire like Doom Guy outfit.
Yeah.
You can now dress your Mii Gunner up as Doom Guy.
Yeah.
I just step away. Who do we get? Master Chief?
No Master Chief, no Goku.
Trying to down that hill. They're like, this is happening. I'm like, holy shit! How would you balance that character? But nah.
Are there any gun only? I guess like Mega Man.
Yeah. I mean,
Mega Man will work, but I don't know, man.
Okay.
How would you do the complement Master Chief skills? I mean, unless you're just using the gun, throwing stickies.
he could
or
have,
using
he could have,
sword.
yeah,
Yeah.
gun, sticky grenades. He could have the sword.
The shot thing, whatever it was, you know.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
which one do you put in? Do you put the Banshee, the Ghost, or the Warhog in there? Which
That's
one goes in there?
Warhog.
Or all three? Then he gets on the Gatling and starts shooting with it. That could be his Smash Ultimate, where he just goes the reticle, going there and he's just shooting you on the Warhog thing.
He comes flying across and jumps out of the driver's seat onto the gun, just starts railing it.
But
Dropping
they
the bomb face on you.
they went into the trailer for the last character, which they kind of started. They're ending where they started. The original teaser had the little Splatoon character like looking at the big Smash logo, which was all fiery, and this was the same. It started off with that same imagery and then zoomed out, showed every other character. Went way back.
It's been so long. I forgot how long this game's been out. Because this is a continuation from 3DS and Wii U.
Yeah. They, showed all the characters as the little figures, going back to the game's inception, and then the logo goes out, and this little this little ember drops down. Mario kind of livens up and gets off his little pedestal, walk towards it, hesitates, and then grabs it and throws it, and then it turns into the damn Keyblade, and Sora comes out. Oh, I was so freaking excited.
Then you got the simple and clean medley in the background.
Yep.
That's Kingdom Hearts.
So-
that's my Kingdom Hearts because that's the one I played the most. I was attached to that.
Somebody had made a joke. Somebody had made a joke about that. That simple and clean. They referenced the lyrics, but they said it's simple and clean, but the song is not in the game or something like that. I forgot what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get a rendition of the song, but so they're adding several music tracks, obviously, like they always do. They're adding Hollow Bastion as the stage. He went over like he normally does and showed how Sora plays, kind of his strengths and weaknesses.
Feet.
Yeah,
Yes, Sora feet. Boot feet.
the big old Sora feet.
Big clumpins.
The goofy feet. Every time I see goofy feet, I always think of PUBG, just me slapping around. Just hear you just creeping everywhere.
And what's odd is he seems to be the lightest character. So like he's even lighter than he showed Isabelle from Animal Crossing, and Sora's lighter than Isabelle. It's weird, but he's a very kind of like
Doesn't
floaty
check out of my
character.
mind.
No, it doesn't. But yeah, he showed it off. He like you said, he talked about how this was basically a legacy. You know, this game, the whole development time from, beginning to this point now, and everybody that worked
It's like
on it.
1,500 people. So many people worked on this game. So many composers. He got a lot of people in the industry together on this one. This is not a Nintendo joint. This is a game industry production.
This is, gosh, probably one of the largest projects ever in the history of gaming.
Only behind Shenmue.
But oh, and also with this, he did announce that the Kingdom Hearts games were coming to Nintendo Switch, which they did announce.
Can't wait. Are they all on one cartridge?
Well, they announced with a trailer 30 minutes, an hour after the presentation,
was it the
20th anniversary?
20th?
Yeah, anniversary of Kingdom Hearts. And no date yet on when they're coming. But no, Richard, they're not coming as a physical.
So one of them is
like a digital.
One of them is I have to download the other two.
No, they're all cloud-based.
No, that's the other Square Enix game.
No, it's this. All three of the. Well, technically, it is Kingdom Hearts. What 1.5, 2.5, and 3, all respectively, and they're all cloud-based. Which.
So we'll definitely be able to play these on our Kingdom Hearts 40th anniversary stream.
Probably.
They will not be around by then.
So, and basically what I heard from this is they got Witcher running on the Switch. It's probably not likely that they couldn't get these games running. It's more likely that Square didn't want to spend the money and resources and take that kind of risk of, well, if we spend all this money to produce these and make them, and then how much money are we going to make back? Where it's easier to, you've got to buy some server space and host, but it's a lot easier in immediate money to just cloud stream.
I wonder if it's a test run. I wonder if it's something that they put on there and it's not a hardware limitation like we were joking about. Cesar, I know specifically, was saying, hey, it's pretty bad if your hardware can't run Kingdom Hearts, and I got a PS3 that can do it, and technically a PS2. But do you think it's like a test run maybe, and they're just Kingdom Hearts? There's a ravenous fan base. Why would you not take this? Yeah, it's confusing to me, but they crunch the numbers, they look at this stuff, and they figure out how that works.
And the problem is with somebody pointed it out today. Just looking through videos and stuff, that without Nintendo doing a hardware refresh, their latest console is going to be the SWOLED. And what did they add to the Switch OLED? A better kickstand, but an integrated LAN port.
For more cloud
they're
games.
leaning on, I'm about to say, if they're leaning on that, I bet you more developers are going to lean more on cloud gaming rather than try and port their game to a less powerful machine. Because your game will be buggy, it will be slow, will have lower frame rate, or just cloud stream it,
That's working.
But then for us,
them, isn't it?
It is, but it kind of defeats the purpose of the Switch, doesn't it? It's kind of
I've stopped buying
counterproductive.
A bunch of games on Switch because of that. I'll opt for physical media on something else because I know it's going to run better, or I'll wait for sale on Switch. Like I just picked up Legend of Mana, so I could have the music and have that portable.
Because that's the whole thing, is it's supposed to be portable, and I mean, now you're going back to the days of the Wii U where, you can play just using the tablet, but, you better stay within range of the console. Now it's, well, you can't leave your house because you better stay on Wi-Fi, or, better have a hotspot, or go to a Starbucks and sit on their Wi-Fi or something. It's,
I watched an E3 one time on a diner's Wi-Fi on my computer. That was a nightmare. That might have been 05. I was watching E3 on a diner's Wi-Fi on my laptop.
And you're paying for something that you can't ever own, and if they take the servers off, they've got your money. You don't have access to it anymore.
In my opinion, it's even worse than a digital license. And Nintendo has been the one who has given us the least amount of faith we're going to talk about steps Sony made recently, but it's not too much of a barrier, and that stuff is at least still accessible. But I mean, we're all still sour about the Wii Virtual Console not being around anymore. So I don't trust Nintendo as far as that goes.
Absolutely, yeah.
And a cloud version, but if that was the way to get it on your platform, I guess that's it, and that's as far as it goes. What other? I know Japan has way more cloud streaming games than we have. What are our options right now?
Control.
I was about to say, no Control.
Is one of the Assassin's Creed on there, or was that Japan that I was thinking of?
That was Japan. Yeah. We're getting Dying Light 2. It's cloud version.
That's right.
Even though we're getting the first one as a fully whatever that is.
Is that a Microsoft thing, or is that the one I keep getting confused by?
It's Techland.
Okay.
Yeah. It feels like there's one more out there.
There's another big one.
Yeah.
Was it Hitman or something like that?
Yeah, that sounds right. Hitman 3.
There's actual list for Nintendo Switch cloud games. All right, here we go.
Lord.
Every Nintendo Switch cloud game so far.
Can we name all of them?
In America, it's Control, Ultimate Edition, Hitman 3, Plague Tale: Innocence, The Forgotten City, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Dying Light 2, Plague Tale Requiem, which comes out next year, will be cloud-based. All 3 Kingdom Hearts. And then your Japanese exclusives would be Resident Evil 7, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and then Phantasy Star Online 2 Cloud. New Genesis Cloud.
I don't know. Those aren't. I mean, they are AAA. I don't know what that take is.
It's hardware, man. It's hardware. I mean, you can sit there and argue back and forth about like, well, somebody so and so got this done on there, but I mean, like I said, The Witcher.
I see Brand's point. Like, why they don't need to up the hardware if they go all in on cloud? It doesn't matter what the specs are. It's just a tablet with controllers on it.
Yeah, because I'm sure they could. They talked to some of their developers, and they could have gotten Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 probably going. But to the time, the effort, the assets, everything to port those, and then the remakes are decently sized games, so they can't use the smaller Switch cartridges. They have to buy the bigger capacity Switch cartridges, which are not cheap either. So it's cheaper for them to cloud stream.
Let's be honest. I mean, even you have to sacrifice some visual quality to get that on there. So I mean, I don't think they're gonna put it on there because you're gonna have people bitching all day. Like, look at these textures. Who wants this game? So this looks like shit. You know, you're gonna get that all day criticism. So why deal with it?
But you could get better than PS3 performance. Kind of like what was that one that was right in the middle between like PS3, PS4? It's not Witcher. Witcher didn't come out on both of those. But there was a really good port that was like, maybe it was BioShock. No, I don't have the right example, but it was a little bit better performing than the PS3 one, and it made for a solid experience on Switch. Might have been Need for Speed. I don't know. It's something recently that I was looking at.
So, I mean, we didn't talk about it last time, but I'm still laughing at the whole thing where Nintendo's like, we don't have any on 4K Switch in development, and I'm laughing. It's like, yeah, it's not called a Switch, it's called something else because it's a new hardware. So, and they're trying to be slick and be like, yeah, it's not a new Switch that runs at 4K.
Do you think they'll?
It's gonna be new Nintendo hardware.
It'll be something new. It won't be like a new Tegra chipset. It won't be backwards compatible or anything.
I think it'd just be the new version of Tegra, but it's gonna be something different. It's gonna be new hardware that's probably backwards compatible.
They wouldn't call it a Super Switch or anything.
Sure, whatever they want to call it.
Super Switch 10.
Super Switch-a-com.
I'm sure they'll use the same naming convention like they did last time. It worked so well for them with the Wii U. So
Switch U, yeah.
I'm sure whatever comes out this time is going to be named differently. It's just going to be backwards compatible. That's what
I brought back to that Wii U E3 press conference, and I'm trying to get excited by it, and I see that pad, and I'm just like, oh my god, what if? Here's Pikmin, and then the name just killed it. I think we had a whole episode where we renamed the Wii U, didn't we? A whole bit we did. We came up with something different. The little Wii. Alright, we all hope that they don't go a cloud streaming route. That would take away a lot of enjoyment of our collecting and playing and the advancement of technology. Maybe that is the advancement of technology. Maybe it's not new hardware. It's new infrastructure. Maybe we get a 5G switch for streaming that shit.
Yeah. I mean, it just hurts because the majority of the people who buy the Nintendo Switch are physical copy owners. So that's all it is. I mean, it seems like the Xbox and PlayStation, there a lot more people are buying more digital if you look at the sales versus physical, and it goes
free to play experiences.
Yeah. Or it goes the other way for Nintendo. You have more people buying physical than you have digital. So that's why it hurts so bad. So I mean, it's gonna hurt either way, but that's part of it. That's why you had the uproar. I mean, a lot of people will buy a physical copy of it. So
we shall see. We'll see what happens in the future. Is that all the Kingdom Hearts news?
Yes.
Yep. Challenger Pack 11, blah, blah, blah. Is that part of... How much does it cost? Because I only have the base Smash Brothers, and I haven't bought anything else. How much is it to complete out my Smash Brothers roster?
Well, to answer your question, I haven't bought the second online pack either, so I'm going to buy it, because I think that you have until the 24th, you're getting double gold points, so now's the time to buy it.
Get both.
So
what is it? I think it's around like $20 for each pack or something like that. It's around $20 for, and you get.
I know it's a shit ton. They've added a shit ton of fighters. I know it's a good value, and you get a shit ton of music with it too.
You get music, you get new stages, because I think each character individually is like something like $5.99 or something like that.
It is $5.99.
You think they ever make a director's cut Smash Brothers that has everything, a Game of the Year edition, Game of the Generation edition?
No, probably not.
They who knows? They did it with Pokemon with the DLC on the cart. Who knows?
They did do it with Zelda. Zelda doesn't have a.
But they still charge $89 for it. But
yeah,
I guess it depends how big it is. So who knows?
Yeah, I might pony up for those two.
I don't know, and I might need to buy that Pokemon with the DLC on the cart, because those are getting hard to find now. I don't know how many they put out there.
That might be something I need to track down too, because I don't have any of those. I don't have Sword or Shield in any format.
Well, I don't think I'll buy both of them, but I think I'll buy the other one that I don't have with all the DLC on the cart. So.
All right, we talked about online storefronts. Sony. I saw this news and then I got the email like right after that. It was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like, man, life comes at you fast. We talked about payment methods and online storefronts, not alternate storefronts. This comes from Video Games Chronicle. PS3 and Vita stores are removing credit, debit card, and PayPal payment options. Customers will need to top up their PlayStation Store wallets to make purchases. So that means adding points. Beginning on October 27th, so you have 20 days, customers will no longer be able to use a credit or debit card or PayPal to buy digital content from their wallet. Instead, continuing purchasing content from their respective PlayStation stores, users will need to use a desktop computer, mobile device, PS4, or PS5. From October 27th, players will still be able to buy DLC from in-game stores, but will need to do so using wallet funds. So essentially, you're going to have to buy a PlayStation card to add to your account. Is that the gist of it, the total summary?
Yeah, I guess you could go online from your computer and do it, or your PS4 or PS5 and add funds to your wallet.
If you only have PS3 or Vita.
Yeah.
That's
which to me it's kind of making people jump through hoops, and maybe a way of, I mean, they already plan to close these storefronts down eventually, but it's like a way to be like, okay, well, now people really aren't buying off these stores, and it's because they made it harder to access the stuff from the stores, because you can't access them through an online, you can't go through an internet browser and get to them, and browse the stuff effectively. I used to buy all my
PS1 classics and PSP games and everything.
Because their damn storefronts on the actual consoles are buggy as hell.
Laggy. Even when I go to purchase, and I know SSR's load is way higher than ours. But when you hit that, it takes forever for mine to load or do anything. It's not convenient, that's for sure.
The only thing I have on my list is Simpsons Arcade. That's it.
But also, I can understand this from like a security standpoint. They don't necessarily want people's personal information tied to their credit card, debit card, or maybe PayPal tied to those storefronts, and maybe because they aren't paying as much attention to these storefronts, maybe they're
resources not again, security patches.
Yeah, so there could be some security issues, and they don't want people's information stolen that way. But
That just PayPal can no longer run the sole processor.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't want to risk that. We'll leak out any NOFODcast finances through the PlayStation Store. So
It could happen.
that risk is also
It
there.
could happen.
Our financial incentives we get on a yearly basis.
I was looking through for some reason. This is old man shouting at this guy or realizing how old you are, whatever it is. But I was looking at Legend of Dragoon when it launched on PlayStation Network. It was like 2013 or something. So sorry, I feel like we were just talking about it coming out. Like, go get it. It's only $6. I can't believe it's on there. You remember that?
Yeah,
I mean, doesn't seem like that long ago. I
think I have a non-greatest hits copy of it.
Yeah, I do too. Are you a big fan of that one, Brant?
Yeah.
It's good.
The soundtrack's on,
So freaking good.
on Amazon for like $22.
Really?
Brand new copies.
It's got the character that everybody loves to hate, Roses, in there.
That was Dirt. Was it Dirt in PlayStation All Stars?
No, that's somebody they wanted.
That's a like fan mock-ups. Don't let the fan.
That's all I heard about. I would have assumed he was in there.
The much underrated PlayStation All Stars.
You were a fan?
So
Was I?
it's funny because like as soon as they bought Blue Point, they were like, "Now it's time," and somebody put that graphic on there for PlayStation All Stars 2. I was like, "This is the game you want them to make."
So I think the only time I played it was with you.
Oh,
That was a time where that one and then the Sly Cooper 4 was the one where you bought a physical copy and you get the free digital copy in the Vita. So
yep.
and vice
Those
versa.
made those day one purchases for me. Transferring. Oh, what was it? Crap. I was looking through old. I was flipping through old Nintendo Powers, right? And they were showing it was a Game Boy Advance game. Oh, it's that Game Boy Advance magazine I got. Brand, I have a strategy guide for Circle of the Moon. If you get stuck, I'll save you a screenshot. But it was like a magazine.
I think I'm almost done.
Do what?
Just take photos of every page and send it to Brent. Even with him not asking,
Full
just flood
scans.
his messages with
Full
it.
scans.
Yeah.
But
as it eats up his data.
I was thinking Nintendo wanted to do this Switch concept a long time ago because they had the Game Boy Advance and you had the Game Boy player, and so the advertisement was, let's say, Donkey Kong Country, and down at the bottom it's like play anywhere you want or something like that. They were already thinking about like take that game, pop it into this, move about. You have the portable part, then you pop it into the console.
They did it before that. They did it. The Super Nintendo had the
Super Game Boy.
Super Game Boy.
Damn, that's even further back. They had that. Yeah. You're right, sir. That's been in their roots from the very beginning. They finally drilled everything down into getting all the studios and onto one platform and all that kind of stuff. They're doing cloud gaming. What the fuck?
They're back to their BS
Jeez.
days, their satellite days.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're going back to the days where that was the broadcast system BS. Yeah. All those lost media.
Well, Second channel, let's go.
Well,
Second
people
channel.
have been copying those F-Zero tracks I was talking about. You can buy a cartridge with those F-Zero tracks on it. So we just have to wait 20 years for somebody to extract the Kingdom Hearts ROMs. They were cloud-based and put them on a cartridge.
Yeah. Hopefully have them somewhere on a cartridge and dump them.
I'll be playing physical Kingdom Hearts on my vintage Switch after I retire. I think that's it for that news. Somebody want to bring out Game Pass games and the PlayStation Now titles? Ooh, I've already downloaded one of these Game Pass games.
Game Pass
There's
for
a date in
October
there.
was announced. It's from the News Xbox page. I guess there's no name on here, right?
No.
Nope, Megan Spur. Here we go. I apologize, Megan Spur.
Community League.
So, Back for Blood. It's coming to cloud, console, and
That's the one I
PC.
downloaded.
Tabs, totally accurate battle simulator, which it's constantly streamed on YouTube a lot. It's also coming to cloud, console, and
Is that a big
PC.
one?
It's a silly one. Like you create these battle concepts and you got to fight them out and hit these objectives. And sometimes it's like you set up AI and set them up in certain areas. It's like one of those weird. It's weird. It's like kind of like how it gives you an objective and you have to clear it, but it doesn't go the way you want it to. So like if you put certain enemies on there and it you have to play it. It's kind of hard to explain.
Okay.
Or watch videos on it. Ring of Pain, cloud, console plus PC. The Good Life. Full disclosure, I kickstarted this one, so my free copy should come in. Well, my free copy, the copy I paid for 3 years ago is finally coming in. And that's coming to cloud, console, and PC.
That you kickstarted it.
That one is made by Swarry65.
Yeah, right.
That's the one where she's like a detective in like an old English town that she kind of turns into a cat. It's like kind of solving a mystery. It's like one of his quirky
That
titles.
looks great. I remember them showing that off in some other show.
It's also coming to Switch and PS4. So, Procession to Calvary. That cover looks like a Monty Python Quest for the Holy Grail-ish. It's coming to cloud plus console plus PC. Visage coming to cloud, console plus PC. And that one is kind of like that's just a horror game. I've seen people play it. It's like a first-person horror game. Then you also have the Rift Breaker, cloud plus PC plus Xbox Series X and S. So I guess it's not playable on standard console. And then you have PC. You have the Destiny 2 Beyond Light DLC. So
which is big.
These are all your games
coming. That's a big get.
Yes. Also, just recently, after Tokyo Game Show, they added AI, the Somnant Files, which I was wondering if they were going to do because they announced the sequel was coming to Xbox, and I was like, the first one's not on there, and then they surprised everybody with this one.
Makes sense.
Dandy Ace, and coming to cloud, console, and PC. AI was coming to cloud, console, and PC. Luminous Gate coming to cloud. Marvel's Avengers, cloud, console, and PC. Scarlet Nexus, cloud, console, and PC. And that was one that was part of Microsoft's marketing push. And there was some confusion about that coming the Game Pass, but it just wasn't day and date with the game. So it's a couple months later, but either way, I think they announced it with the 1.4 update, which there's like a bunch of new changes coming, and it's adding new features to the game. So it's kind of like for people who want to go through it again, they have that option to go through it in Game Pass now. Unsighted is coming to cloud, and that's their ID at Xbox, which is available now. DLC game updates was Minecraft Seaside Story, Sea of Thieves Season 4. I don't know what the other seasons were. I just was there for the Pirates of the Caribbean. Wasteland 3, The Cult of the Holy Detonation DLC and Colorado Collection. I think this is the final piece of DLC for Wasteland 3. Battlefield 2042 Early Access Open Beta with EA Play, which is today, tomorrow.
Today. I'm going to talk about it.
And then NHL 22 EA Play Early Access Trial, which is October 7th, when the game officially drops on the 15th. Leaving on the October 15th, you have Gunner 2, Heavy Ho, Katana Zero, Scourge Bringer, Tales of Vesperia HD, and The Swords of Ditto. And I think Wario64 on Twitter noted that these games were on there for about a year.
I didn't even know Tales.
So he said that gives.
I didn't even know Tales was on there.
It's been there since a year. Yeah, it's been there for a while. I think that's when they first announced Game Pass. That was on like the testing. Tales of Vesperia was there, because you have Phil he came back and said that expect to see more Japanese games on the Game Pass, because he said Game Pass is like their biggest growing market right now is Japan. So he said you're going to see a lot more Japanese games start hitting the service soon. So, and that's when they announced the AI and Nexus were coming on there.
More variety
to address that need. Yeah. On the PS Now front, this one's from the PlayStation blog.
So, sorry, I'm backtracking a little bit. You got into Swords of Ditto, right? Wasn't that the one you played that you enjoyed?
Yeah, that one's kind of like a Legend of Zelda Link to the Past clone. It's very similar to like the Super Nintendo version of Link to
I think the one where you died and then you would have to keep going and then you like eventually spread out the map and stuff. That's right.
Minute.
Okay.
Yeah. Minute, and that's also a Legend of Zelda clone, basically. So yeah, it's similar to that gameplay style. It's outside of the deaths, but I mean it spread it out. I actually beat that one. That was a pretty good game. PS Now from the blog. PlayStation blog. This one's from Adam Michel. You're gonna have The Last of Us Part 2. That's gonna be available till January 3rd, 2022. So they said the PS5 players who download it will get the PS5 performance patch, so they can use on there. Fallout 76. That's still happening.
The good one, right?
Yeah.
So you better sing that one title to us.
Which one? The Country Roads?
You'll get there.
Amnesia Collection, PS4. I guess this comes around right around the
Yeah, it's
Halloween
always good
spooky time.
at a horror title, right?
See. Desperados
Sing
3.
it to us. So sorry, that's
We don't want a DMCA.
yeah, it's true.
I don't sing Eagles. All right, so I refuse. Final Fantasy VIII Remastered and Victor V Run Overkill Edition and yet another Zombie Defense HD game.
What's the name of it?
You said it.
What's the name of it?
Yep.
The title is literally
search
another
it on,
Zombie Defense.
Search
HD.
it on PS Now. If you can't find it, you can blame Richard at NOFODcast@gmail.com.
Somebody's gonna voice search and they're just like, just give me another Zombie Defense HD, please. And it pops up. They're like, oh shit, there's a game called this. Yet another anime-inspired fighter with cel-shaded graphics.
Everybody go download that Spider-Man game.
Oh yeah.
On
quickly. That might become a collector's item. It's the Flappy Bird of PS5. If you have PS5 with a Spider-Man game or an Xbox game, if you have Spider-Man with Xbox on it, Xbox with Spider-Man on it, it becomes.
It looks like they just took an image of Tom Holland Spider-Man and just put it
like
on there.
It looks like they took an image of me as Spider-Man. That's a dumpy-looking Spider-Man. It does not look like anything.
It looks like a horrible Newgrounds game. That's what it looks like. It took me.
We just talked last week about them killing Flash. It's a bad Flash game. All right, that's all your news.
And that's all your Xbox and PS Now news.
And that's all of our news. Anything to add for nudes? I'm ready to get off this show and go buy some UMDs. That Pirates of the Caribbean's calling to me. I gotta see it. I gotta see Pirates on UMD.
Is the trilogy on there in UMD, or is it just the first
I
one?
thought Matrix Revolutions was an import. It came out in Japan.
Oh.
Finish the fight.
You can't. They did put the third one on UMD. I didn't see that one on there.
Some people argue the third one doesn't exist.
That's the only one I've never seen. I watched the second one in theaters, and had such a bad taste in my mouth, I never went to see the third one that fall. I think it came out on my birthday.
Kind of confused. Yeah, I'm kind of confused how they get how the fourth one's happened after what happened in the third one, but it's interesting. But we'll see what happens.
Matrix, they can change anything, you know. I did read, it was an interview from like 2001 or 2002, I guess. Or it might have been lead up to the second, third ones. But they were talking to him about, you know, why when they were in the Matrix did they have to call in on the cell phones? And it was because the landlines were used to load like all the other stuff going through the Matrix, so they couldn't have a hardwire to get out of there. It was more of like using the cell phones to get out, but they still could. And then they also, remember, whenever they would get out of the Matrix, they'd be in somewhere dingy, like an old apartment building or subway station or something like that. That design, the Wachowskis put that design in there so that it always felt like they were just kind of scurrying around. Like they never had a presence in the Matrix. They were just trying to survive. So they were always in these broken down areas and alleyways and stuff like that. It wasn't just an aesthetic choice. It was like, this is where they're going to survive at and stuff like that. And I've watched this movie so many times and read so many things about it, and I'm still reading new stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I do love The Matrix. Okay, games played. I guess my big one is I played that Battlefield 2042 beta today. I assumed in all the things I had read was like Thursday and Friday was going to be people who pre-order it, and then Saturday and Sunday was going to be open beta. And then I read online today that people with Game Pass Ultimate that comes with EA Play, they get access to it. So I was like, oh shit, I'll download it, try it out. And we're, of course, coming off of 2 stellar weekends of the Halo Infinite tech test, is what they call that one. And this is definitely buggier. I'll have to send y'all the video I took. But someone, I guess, died. I don't know. I stumbled upon someone it looks like their character model sitting in a vehicle, but they're just flying in the middle of the air. They're just sitting there. And I walked up to them, I punched them, all that kind of stuff, and they're just sitting there. I sent that to friend of the show, Russell, and he sent back, it's me waiting on you to get on. It's just sitting there. So I was playing on Series X, and this is, there's 128 people in the next gen version of it, I guess you could, or current gen, or we're going with current gen, right? So
Current gen.
Yes, please,
yes,
Lord
if you have one
God.
of the
Yeah.
old gen versions, it's 64 people, which for Battlefield. Do y'all play Battlefield? Have you played any of the recent ones or anything? Because I got heavy into Battlefield 4 when the PS4 launched, and that was the last Battlefield that I
Yeah.
got into.
I think
So I started enjoying Battlefield 3.
I think that's the last
I think
one.
It's the last one I played. I didn't say I enjoy it.
There we go. 3 and 4, I think, are considered kind of the better ones, and they've just kind of existed since then. Hardline, I think, was a misstep with the cross-generational stuff. But, like most multiplayer online shooters, I don't enjoy them without someone else. Like, even as much as I love Halo, I'm not coming down here and playing by myself, really. I might play a campaign here or there, but I'm not going to get online multiplayer and just go to town. So when I first tried it out, Russell was not on, and I landed with my squad, and you're in teams of 4, so you have a fire team, kind of like when we were playing Halo Infinite, and the maps are massive. Coming off of Infinite, where you started learning these choke points and sniper roosts and all these sort of things, this game is huge. The map they have you on is just, it's unreal. And I died a lot, clearly. Actually, without Russell, I had my best run. I went like 5 kills and 2 deaths or something like that. Which you can literally spawn. You can spawn in a base that you already have. Because the thing they had up was Conquest, I think was the name of the zone. So there's 5 zones. There's A, B, C, D, E. And then, you start at one, the enemy starts at another, and you just try to take over these zones, right? They've got little subset zones and things like that. You'll have to hold the points. Their flag comes down, your flag goes up. That's the gist of Battlefield, I guess, for those unawares. You started off as a generic character, and then you could pick a subset in that. So it was your normal, like, offensive person, it was your support person, it was your sniper, and then, what did the other person do? It wasn't memorable. You could pick that character, but your character didn't change, and I don't know if that's just a beta thing. After playing the Halo tech test where we could just like customize our COD pieces, and we couldn't really even spend the Halo bucks we were getting, but we could on this funny things, and we would, you could have prosthetic Spartan pieces and change your helmet visor and stuff like that, and maybe it's easier to do versus a real person in Battlefield, but those customizations were just like immediately there in Halo versus Battlefield. But the maps are massive. The one I was on, in the very middle is you're on like a Cape Canaveral or something, and there's a launch pad there. Cesar just went postal size on us. It's funny, but it is what it is. I'll just wait for him to come back, because it hasn't done this to us since we started. I'll just leave it. And I've seen some clips where the rocket can take off. I played like 3 rounds, and I never saw that part happen. But it was chaotic. Like, I guess I was getting back around to this. You can spawn at one of the bases, or you can spawn where your fire team's at. So if you have somebody that's not in combat, you can drop in where they're at. And it's not like PUBG where you drop out of the plane and literally drop in. You'll just spawn on your fire team wherever they're at. And in some cases, depending on where they were headed to, there was like almost no organization as far as firefights and stuff. I got trapped at one point. I see 2 people coming up the path, and I'm playing a little stealthy, like I'm kind of in the bushes, that sort of thing. And I'm shooting at them. They're shooting back at me. So I died, and they show you who kills you, and it was somebody like over to the side of the road where I was at. And then as I'm dying, you kind of lay there, Gears of War style, and you can either back all the way out and respawn at one of those spots, or you can wait for somebody to revive you. And there's a button you can hit for someone to to let out an alert outside of just your fire team seeing that you have like a, the heart monitor thing will come up on you if you need to be revived. And I did revive some people. I think everybody has the what's it called? Defibrillator. Yeah. Everybody has.
Revive me.
What's that?
Revive me.
Revive me. It seems like everybody has that, but it was almost like Gears, where if you're gonna run out and save somebody, they're probably gonna be shooting at you at the same time. But I got in this firefight, I got killed from the side, and then as I'm panning around as I'm waiting to be revived, there's people behind me, there's people to the left of me, and I'm like, this map is so huge, how did all these people end up on me? I wasn't even in like a choke point or anything, I was just on a road. It wasn't even really near a base. And another time that I spawned, my fire team was way away from an objective. I ran across a field for like 3 or 4 minutes, getting pop shots shot at me. Then I died, and I was like, okay, I guess I achieved nothing here. I have to spawn over again and try to head to an objective somewhere. Russell got on after like my first 2 rounds, and it was more fun just with he and I going back and forth, like, hey, somebody's over here, that sort of multiplayer thing. I think this is just my hot take from 2 hours of playing this open beta. This should be the free-to-play multiplayer. This should be the one they try to get people in and get them to add on. I was more excited about this one than Halo Infinite, just based off of footage I'd seen, and I was very happy with Halo and Master Chief Collection. Do we need another Halo? I was in that space, and I was like, let's see what Battlefield can do in next gen and all that. And I think this one should be the free-to-play one to try to get people in there, because I have no interest anymore in paying $70 for that day one experience in Battlefield. They said there's no campaign, right? Yeah, yep. And it's just this. And I think I would pop it Battlefield 4 if I needed to scratch that itch. I don't think this one did anything drastically different than that same experience from... Maybe there's more in your operators and customization. Maybe it has more of that next-gen trappings, I guess you could say. It looked great. It was beautiful. The puddles you would run across, you wouldn't hear anything. There was no sound effects with the puddles, but it wasn't ray traced, but there was great reflections coming off of the puddles that you'd see in the mud and stuff like that. The guns felt good, but it felt like a new Battlefield. But I don't know that there was enough. It's just so chaotic. Maybe I'm just not a Battlefield fan, which is fine. Somebody's listening to the show being like, oh hell yeah, they made this game's for me. This is exactly what I wanted, and hey, go for it. But I may try it out a couple more times and see if anything kind of switches over. I wouldn't mind if we all jumped on it, as much fun as we had with Halo, and just kind of get a feel with the same squad and compare and contrast and see what you guys think. But it did not do a whole ton for me. I'd be interested to see anybody else's takes and kind of coming off that Halo tech test for the 2 weekends. Everybody's flying high on Halo, and I want to see what the word of mouth is with this one. Speaking of Halo, we played more Sunday night, didn't we? Didn't we get back on there after we recorded? Yep.
Yeah, we had some good games.
That game's awesome. I love that game. And I was hurting for it. So Monday, lunchtime, Russell's like, let's try to get on and see what we do. And it kept giving me an error, like, your account's not authorized for this, because the tech test was over by then. He got in somehow. He got into the multiplayer, not the multiplayer, he got into the bots, like the training session type stuff. And he invited me into the game. I got into the game, it launched, but we couldn't get into the same game against the same bots. But I did play a couple rounds against the bots in their training mode thing, which has it's like infinite timing, or no time limit, infinite kills. It doesn't keep up with your kills, that sort of stuff. So, you guys were raving about that grapple hook the past 2 weekends, and I never really used it. I would see it drop or whatever, and I was like, I'm learning weapons, that kind of stuff. I'm not really messing with this. I picked up the grapple shot thing in this tech test and was flying around like Cesar was talking about. It's
like Attack on Titan, man.
Spider-Man.
Circling around trees and everything, yeah.
It's so smooth. This bot was shooting at me. So the map I was on was bizarre, and he was in the little tent area in the middle, and he's shooting at me, and he kind of ducked into one of those things. I shot the grapple hook next to the opening, and then meleeed him and started shooting him from there, and I was just like, oh god, why didn't I do this the whole tech test? I could have been adding this element to it, because you can really zip around with that grapple hook, and everything, the frame rate's perfect, you just fly through the air, and the bots were on...
You can curve around. That's the beautiful thing. It's like it's not a straight shot. You can actually curve and go around stuff.
I want it back, man. I want it back to try that out some more. But I did get some experience in with that grapple shot. It is the real deal. I want to play more Halo Infinite. That's just about it. And not much more Battlefield. But those are my games played. I was shooting things. People and bots.
Real life people?
Yes, over the internet. I've been doing that for many years.
There we go. I need that clarification.
You had to have it.
Yeah, you said bots and people. I was like,
that's fair. At the same time.
Yeah. at the same damn time. Mine's easy. The only thing I played Alan Wake that came in yesterday.
I hate to cut you off, so sorry. Brant, were you gonna get Alan Wake? Were you thinking about grabbing it? Or are you gonna wait?
Yeah, I was thinking about it for sure.
We kicked around doing that as game club for this month, so I could not play it again. But mine's not coming in until like a week from now, and we didn't know if you were gonna get it, so I think.
I mean, if we're gonna do it, then I'll stop talking about it. So.
I don't think we are at this level at this point. We're gonna be halfway through the month before. Not that mattered before, because I never played Hellblade. Go ahead, Cesar. We're past that.
So yeah, I'm a notable Remedy fan. I always play all the releases, usually on launch. I picked this one up on PS5. I don't think you'll be missing much from it, just because of the fact that it's a remaster and it looks like the 360 one. It has a lot of the cutscenes are all done with it looks like some upscale cutscenes from the 360 one, and which is interesting because it reminds me of like playing like character models from like the PS2 era, watching their CG stuff going around. Like they're overly blocky and stuff like that, and which is cool. It has that nostalgia feel for me. I was like, this is not that bad. Graphically, the in-game engine is a lot more cleaner, but it's not like a full-on remake. So, in my opinion, if you have the 360 version, you probably could get away with that one on the backwards compatibility. That one's a good one to play as. But outside of that, I think I'm on the second chapter, and this game. You start out as Alan Wake, and he's a writer who's kind of have writer's block. He's going to this town, a vacation with his wife, to kind of like hopefully get his creative juices flowing. He's just going there to relax for the week, and then you find out that his wife had an ulterior motive. There's a doctor on the island, they call him Dr. Hartman, and he helps with celebrity type people about getting back to their ways, getting back to their work.
Like a recovery specialist.
She kind of brought him along, something like that. They kind of she brought him along there to see that person. He gets in an argument with his wife and leaves the cabin. And before he gets to the cabin, some weird stuff's already happening. So he was supposed to get this key for the cabin from a guy named Stucky. Who they were renting it from, but apparently some lady showed up and it's like, yeah, he's sick and I'm in this place and here's the directions and here's the key to the cabin. So you go to this cabin in Cauldron Lake. That's where it all starts. So outside of that, you get to this. Rewind back to what I was talking about previously. The light. His wife is afraid of the dark type of situation. She's like some kind of trauma happened to her when she was younger and she doesn't like the dark. So you lose power, and after this argument you have with her, you run back into the house, and you see that she's in the water around that lake, and the water in the lake's like pure black, like kind of like oil. So he jumps in, and then he just kind of wakes up in front of this vehicle that just had a car crash, and it's 7 days later, and his wife is still missing. And so he's going through and trying to find her. As you go through, you find these dark shadows surrounding people that are randomly attacking him. And then he picks up a flashlight and a gun, and he uses the light to dispel the darkness around the people and uses the gun to kill them. And so as you go through the story, he's trying to locate his wife, and he ends up going to like the sheriff's office, and he gets this agent. Barry flies in because they haven't heard from him in 7 days, and he finds out that his wife has been possibly kidnapped, and they told him to meet at Lover's Peak at midnight, and that's where I'm at right now.
I think that's as far as I got on my PC playthrough not too long ago.
As you go through the game, you have these nuances from the radio show. There's like a radio show from the older gentleman you meet in the beginning of the game, who's kind of like gives you like the local beats around the area and gives you the local flavor. And then you have TVs scattered about the area, and the TVs play this TV show called Night Springs, which is kind of like a weird version of the Twilight Zone. It's like a complete ripoff of it. Like the first episode was like a guy who knew about the cat in the box situation, where different timelines and different parallel universes, and so he supposedly created a machine where if he can stop that from happening. So the whole theory of like, if I kill myself in this time period, in the next one, there's a parallel universe where I continue to live. And so he makes a machine where it stops that, where he can do anything he wants to himself, and then it doesn't end that cycle. But then something happens and somebody unplugs the machine, he doesn't notice it and he kills himself. So it's like one of those weird Twilight Zone episodes. So you run into those TVs throughout, they're scattered throughout the levels, and they each one have like a different episode that adds to the atmosphere. You see other TVs where it shows Alan Wake incoherently talking about like he can save his wife, all he has to do is keep writing, creating the story. It's like it's incoherent. It kind of gives you like foreshadowing what's going on in the background. I already know what's happening, but if as you play through the game, you're like, that's weird, I'm not sure what's going on, because it's like you're experiencing two different stories. But as you go through Alan Wake, he's narrating the whole thing like you're reading a story. So it's like he's like basically reading you like, I have to do this, I have to do that, I figure if I do this, it's like he's narrating everything in his head, and it's like he's treating you like the reader, like you're reading a book. And that's what he is as a writer. So he's treating you like his job on there. So yeah, outside of that, the gameplay was a standard, I think, third person. So use the flashlight, use the guns. You get a flare gun, you get a shotgun. The only bullshit is I collected like 20 batteries in the first level, and then when you go to the next chapter, it resets you down to 0. Like, no, I had so many. Yeah, so and then you have to start from scratch. It gives you a dodge mechanic, and so I mean, there's some stuff on there that keeps it fresh. Sometimes you'll get bum rushed by 3 enemies. Sometimes you get attacked by a single enemy, and it seems like at the end of each chapter, there's always a boss that it's effectively running around the map, and it's very difficult to beat. But yeah, that's everything. I've only, I mean, it's only been 2 days since we last did it, so that's the only thing I played. So.
Yeah. You playing that on PS5 or Series?
PS5. Yeah.
PS5.
How's the haptic stuff? Yeah, I'm curious about that, because that's the one I have coming into.
Yeah. Well, like I said earlier, this is just a remaster. If you had the 360 version, you'll be fine. The environments is kind of upscaled. The FMV videos looks just like the 361, which that's what I told Brian earlier, which looks like watching a PS2 FMV. So the character models look like this PS2 CG type stuff, which is funny and it's cool at the same time. But yeah, there's no haptic feedback. There's no activity cards on there. It's a straight remaster. It's not a remake.
Controller. I thought there was some sort of
nothing yet. At least in the first 2 chapters, I haven't had anything. So I have to look. I can look at the back of the box later and see if there's anything that advertises it. But I didn't experience anything. So
I'm gonna grab this. I have 1, maybe 2 extras of these. If y'all need.
Oh wow.
I guess they were painted out at some point.
Yeah.
You might need the Alan Wake guide. So does the collector, and you have one already? Okay.
I do. Yeah. It's a Remedy game, so.
I know you're a fan.
Yeah. So I mean, outside of that, the only thing I finished up, I think what I played Monday, I finished up Hellblade and finished that one up. So because I was halfway through with that one, so nothing more really add to it than what Brand was talking about. So the only thing I had to do is I missed 2 runes, so I just went ahead and just watched the extra scene on YouTube to figure out what the extra scene was that you get with the runes, because I refuse to get the 2 extra runes, because you have to go when you cross that portal with the runes as they light up.
Yeah. That's
where you get the extra scene. So I would have to get to that point again.
Okay, you have to play the full game.
So I ended up just watching that scene on YouTube, and it was like literally like 2 extra minutes. So
was it worth it?
I can tell you if you want me to tell you.
Might as well.
So Druth comes and tells you that he was actually a coward. He worked with the Northmen the whole time, and he was trying to be spared, so he sold out his village. And they ended up enslaving him anyways. And he basically told her the same thing happened again. It was her father who did it, and that's how Dylan died, because her father had sold that village out for the same thing. Because he didn't say that; he just says a man in a black coat.
You say Brand on a replay.
So, but nothing else changes. It still leads off where she says she has one more story to tell, which leads into Hellblade 2. You know, that ending's still there, so all that's still there.
Like I said last time, I mean, it wasn't a horrible game, and it merits a playthrough. I honestly, I can't see myself going back and doing
that lady won a game award for motion capture and everything. She did a fantastic job. Yeah, because they did like facial scans, and she had to go through all their motions and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. I enjoyed it. I'd say, yeah, just go for it. I mean, it's like you saw it on there on I mean, you can play it on Series X, part of Game Pass.
Yeah.
I think it was like $6 now on PS4
PC is
digitally.
non-expensive, and probably Game Pass PC as well. Switch.
So, I mean,
Was
it's
it
worth
one
the
of the Switch
playthrough. It's
streaming
good.
ones?
Yeah.
It's
That's
a
right.
native copy.
I was amazed by it 3 days ago. You're right. All right, Brant, bring us home.
But yeah, that's it. That's it for me. Brent's all in your corner now.
Mine's extremely easy. Besides playing Halo with y'all, we downloaded the new character on Pokemon Unite, which is Sylveon, which is one of Eevee's evolutions. Played around with that last night when it became available. And then I'm still playing Circle of the Moon. I'm just about done with that. I beat Carmella, the Vampire Queen or whatever. She's the one in this,
Mrs.
this
Dracula,
game.
right?
Resurrected. Yeah, she resurrected Dracula, and she said everything's ready. We're just waiting on the full moon. So I gotta go. Right now. I've gotten all the power ups and everything I need to traverse the castle, and I'm just kind of going through and getting all the power ups and things I missed. So, and I'm just biding my time until Friday because I want to play Metroid so bad. That's gonna be my big
Good
game
reviews.
this month.
Reviews embargo lifted this morning.
I mean,
Was also pleasantly surprised on the Far Cry 6 reviews. I expected worse.
really?
Because they haven't really iterated on that formula.
Yeah, Far Cry 6 looks good.
Other than the bad Spanish stuff that I read that article about on Polygon. So
What do they talk about? I'm curious.
I don't want to take too much for Brant, but where they talked about where you're in the Spanish nation and most everybody spoke English, and then sometimes they'll speak Spanish and then go into English,
Just bad
and
stereotypes.
it's just a poor representation. Yeah, some of that was in there too. So, and then you have people that went on there and start arguing, but like, I don't play it for the store, I play to blow up stuff. I don't see why this is a problem. And then I just left the thread. I was like, all right, this is weird. So,
Far Cry's
You're
always
getting
been
weird.
sort of satirical, right? As they base their playgrounds on political things here and there, and the weird Wyoming one they had that I still haven't played, bought and haven't played, and now I got 6 coming. Dummy, I'm a dummy. I'm a reason they keep making Far Cry's.
I've bought every one of them. I even got 5. So I got 4. I think we got excited when we saw the co-op mechanic for 4. I bought
you saw that at that PlayStation event.
You keep saying I'd sold Prime.
You did. We all bought Primal. You can't find them anymore. It's fucking wild.
I got Far Cry 3 on PS4 physical copy. I got 2. I got them all.
They're good games. They'll get fun playground. Let's just play it. I just want to play it. Maybe this will be a better one to jump in co-op because we never really did a Watch Dogs either.
I'm still waiting on the Resident Evil 5 island as we were hunting chicken eggs. You left me there. I'm still there.
How close were we to the end of that?
Halfway through it.
3 years, 4 years.
I know that game like the back of my hand because I platinum that game on PS3 because I went through and played it several times to beat that game because you had to go through and play it on every difficulty. You had to play it online. You had to play it online with everybody, like through every chapter online as each character. I played it a lot. I know the game very well. It's not my favorite Resident Evil, but I played it a lot to platinum it. So we haven't gotten to the hard part yet, which is
good. It's a very solid Fallout 4.
Which is like it's like a freaking vampire flying around the screen, and
yeah,
I'm like,
oh yeah, he's the son of a bitch.
That's the hard part.
Play 10 hours of 4 and beat the shit out of 5. That's my life.
He catches
I'll
rockets.
let her she's taken away from me. She's not part. She's not alive in my universe.
No,
that's the ending for the game. She's like, oh, like this is a great ending. Credits.
All right, is that it for us this episode? Or Brent, you got some more?
No, I guess we played Halo. I guess
you
gotta figure out if we're gonna do Battlefield.
Sunday, you rescued the president's daughter.
Maybe Back 4 Blood. Maybe that could be another one we could jump
Yeah,
into.
we all have Game Pass. Why not? We're not paying money for Back for Blood. So.
Bye.
We're already paying for it, so.
Yeah.
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 I've got it downloaded. I have no issues trying it out for free with y'all. For free. That can be our game clubbish game where we play that one and discuss it. It's a new release. Be Back for Blood. I would love to play some Alan Wake. I'm craving a spooky game. I know we were playing Luigi's Mansion, but we're playing that with my brother, so it's like I can't jump back down here. Oh, I ordered a Japanese Wii. What was that? 2 weeks ago, and it came in, and I've got a Japanese copy of Luigi Mansion on GameCube, the Japanese one. Yep, Luigi Mansion. And I just briefly fired up the Wii, make sure it works. I popped in GameCube. I went through the little intro with Luigi winning the mansion, and I walked in and turned on the flashlight, and that was it. But my Japanese GameCube does work. My Japanese Wii does work. There are a shit ton of icons on this Japanese Wii.
I believe it.
Cesar, I may rope you into helping me translate what some of these things are, because apparently there's like a Mario Kart Wii channel that tracks your racer stats, and that channel is on there, and I pulled it up and looked at their wins and losses. Now, I think they got way more stuff than we did on those channels. But, what was that? Yeah. It made me miss like the forecast channel and the news channel and stuff like that. It kind of made me miss that simplicity of the cool things that the Wii did. It was...
See what their BMI was. Let's go.
It was very Apple-esque, like looking back on it, that it was so streamlined. Like, here's your tiles, and here's your news, and here's your game channel, and then the way the Wii looked and all that kind of stuff.
See?
I think there was a Wii Fit channel on there too that they had. But that was my other thing.